Boah, g'day guys, it's Sam here from Built Not Bought, and today we're looking at Curtis's coil cab. Alright, I know what you're thinking, another bloody patrol on the channel. I know I'm a patrol lover and owner at heart, but I had to shoot this car, and this is sort of what I'd call a sleeper for the four-wheel drive sort of industry. You know, it looks fairly stock from the outside, but there's definitely a big party going on underneath the body and the hood. So on the front, pretty much standard listed front end with the grille, headlights. These flares, they're aftermarket, so they're actually a fiberglass molded flare, so it gives it that wide stance. So they're from Down South Motorsports. Running through the side there goes to a Patrol Doctor snorkel, airbox as well. Continuing on, he's added on these clear view mirrors. I got the same ones, they look bloody awesome, gives you heaps of vision from behind. The tray, just a steel tray, and he's got a wooden floor on there, and then a bit of a little secret going on under the box there. So it is sort of a toolbox, and there's some bits and pieces in there, but it pretty much houses the secret underneath this car. And of course, an ever-cool fridge as well to keep your beers cold. So I think we'll jump under the hood first and have a look under there. All right, underneath the hood, TD42 basically, but it's a TD6 version. So it's the latest version of the TDs out of an 05 Patrol. It's got a bit done with boost obviously. So it's running a Dylan Logan intake manifold. It's got a 6-boost exhaust manifold. It's a precision turbo, 55-57, and it's pumping out about 30 PSI of boost. Now, intercooler looks a bit different to most cars. It's actually a water to air intercooler. So at the front, there's this radiator section here, similar to sort of the blower setup on my car. It runs like the water through the radiator back into that intercooler to then cool the air into the engine. So he reckons it works bloody top shit, hey. Goes good. Patrol Doctor airbox that I mentioned before. And as it is at the moment, it's putting out about 230 horsepower and 700 Newton meters. So very healthy motor. So we'll see how she goes in the challenges today. And sort of what's going on under here, I think we'll jump inside the car, but I've just noticed there's no battery. Where's that? The battery's gone under the tray, so it's just one, is it? Two. All right, he's actually moved all the batteries out of here, and they're both under the tray. So normally you have your auxiliary somewhere else, but he's actually moved both of them, so it gives it a bit of space in here. All right, inside the vehicle. Few different things going on in here. So basically we'll start with the Readout Gauges on the side. So you've got your EGT and boost and all that. And well, that's about it. So next thing I want to jump in and have a look at is basically what's underneath this thing. It's what attracted me to this build basically because of the suspension setup, sort of a dream of mine in a way. But starting with 37-inch BFGs. They're wrapped around an Allied Rattler beadlock rim. Going to pretty much just the standard GU front diff. He's got a brace kit on there and then also an ARB locker inside of it. Now the whole front diff is set up with a 5-link system, so that's Superior's 5-link kit to give it like a load of flex. It also helps, it's not a massive lift. What's the lift? So it's only a 2-inch lift, but with all that linkage set up, it rides really good on the road and also like a load of droop. So the shocks, they're a triple bypass Pro Fender shock. They're also got hydraulic bump stops, so they're Pro Fender as well, and then raised shock towers. So on the front, it's got 10-inch shock on there, so a lot of travel. Being only a 2-inch, it gives it a heap of droop. The steering arms are all upgraded, they're heavy duty as well, Superior's hind kit. And yeah, sort of the front end. We'll run back and have a look at the back. All right, now the back end of this thing, same rims and tires. Rear, she's got the LSD in the back from factory. He's actually gone and done a 4-link setup. So he's got the long arms on the bottom and then triangulated top arms. So there's no radius arm, that's sort of the benefit of that. And as the diff drops up and down, it keeps it sort of squared with the car, it doesn't come off to the side. So that's why a lot of guys run those 4-link setups. It's also got a fat sway bar in it, so it's sort of an anti-roll bar, torsion bar setup. So it's got the spline kit running through it rather than your standard sway bar. Benefit of that, I'm gonna do a similar thing to my truck, and it's basically gives it real good on-road stability around quick corners, but slow moving, it will still get that flex and that droop. Now, another thing I love about this is the shock setup. He's got these towers cut out over the back of the diff there, and it's set up to pretty much hold twin setup. So you can have, at the moment it's just got a coilover shock combination, so that's a Profender just remote resi shock coil combination, but there's also a spot to run a second shock on there as well. So you know, the idea is to put a triple bypass shock only on there, and then you can really tune it the way you want to ride, you know, softly over the bumps but still hit it hard when it comes into that real plush zone at the top of the stroke there. I love what he's done with it. It's a real sleeper looking thing, but it's basically a trophy truck underneath. So yeah, that sort of wraps up the rig rundown section. It's time for the challenges and see how this thing drives. All right, let's see how this thing feels. What? All right, I feel right at home here in a Patrol, of course, but it's got quite a different setup to mine. For a start, it's a diesel. Another thing that wasn't mentioned in the walk around there, it's actually got 85% reduction gears in it. So I'm in third at the moment and we're just cruising along, just crawling. We're out of low, so we can get a bit more speed up, hopefully. There we go, the booster's out, I feel it now. Woo! The more and more of these diesels I drive, the more and more I kind of want one. Maybe your pluggers. Oh, we're gonna get bogged there. Well, I think it's time to hand it back and let Curtis do his challenges. Oh, my alarm's going off, I've broken something. All right, Curtis, so now it is time for the challenges. So basically we're gonna have 4 challenges. So there'll be the sprint, comfort challenge, then the economy and the flex ramp. Now, someone forgot their wallet today, so we couldn't fill up the fuel, but I'm gonna take his word on this, on the economy. So what's the economy roughly? 16 to 100. So that's, you went to Fraser, right?
Yeah, I was going to Fraser.
So a combination of on-road and then sand, beach driving, so 16 to the 100. We'll go with that. So other than that, we're gonna do the sprint now, and then the comfort challenge. So that's obviously the cup on the bonnet there, and you pretty much got to drive up to 50 k's an hour, brake again, and then see how much water comes out. You got pretty good suspension on this thing, so I'm expecting big things.
Yeah, maybe.
But it all depends on the terrain, I guess. So yeah. We're out at the beach today, so let's see how that goes, and see how the standings match up against all the other cars pretty much. Let's do it. Choked a bit at the start, so I gave him an extra half a second, but it was still 9:41. It's 9:41.
Yeah.
So it's under 10 seconds, and there's been a couple over that, so not bad. Right, yeah, 9:41 for that sprint. So now it's just sort of the suspension challenge, and then we head back for the flex.
The darkest night, true love waits as we go, burning down the line.
Said 58.
Was that 50k? Holy sh! That's amazing. That's crazy, look. I'm amazed because that was some big bumps as well. Like the thing was going like this. Dude, that was an amazing suspension setup. I was actually half expecting you to like lose a bit more because you wanted to hit the hard stuff, and some guys are like, oh yeah, we'll just go over a few little bumps and shit, and they're like losing half the bottle. Alright, there we have it. So I'll call that about, I'll go 87%. So, because that's up there. The last thing is just the flex ramp challenge, and yeah, tally up the results. Alright, I kind of, I didn't really believe him, so I'm inside now. I'm gonna see this thing go to 50 and watch what happens. Oh, 50, yeah. Jesus. Basically airborne, and it's just like doo, doo. Alright, so with the last challenge now, which is of course the flex ramp challenge. Now, little secret with Curtis here, this is actually his flex ramp. So that should tell you something. It's his ramp, so he's probably built it and built this truck to go up it. So I'm expecting big things for this, especially with how much droop it gets with this shock suspension setup.
I can't see where I'm going.
It's about to.
Oh, it's about to come
the
off? Yeah, right.
rim. Of course, from the hub as always. Center of the rim. Bang on 90. 900 mil. Holy shit, that's a lot. Most guys get about 500, 600, 900. I forget what was it Jeremy I think went up in his patrol.
Yep.
I forget what it was. It was near that. Be curious to see what it actually ends up being. So there you have it. Welcome back, guys. Now, did you know this is the first rundown where we've got a full leaderboard of 10 cars? How crazy is that? Now, with high hopes in the sprint challenge, we unfortunately came in at a 9:41 because of the thing bogging down at the start line. That's not too bad when you come out on top for the comfort challenge with 87%. Absolutely amazing suspension in this thing. Talking suspension, with the flex challenge, we've come out on top again with 900 millimeters. I'm absolutely blown away by that. And also sitting in with a comfortable 16 liters per 100, bringing him in third place on the board there. All right, guys, that has been the rig rundown for this part. This is Curtis's GU Patrol. Loved hanging out for the day in this thing. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next rig rundown. Take it easy. Peace. Hello guys, and welcome to Built Not Bought HQ. Make sure to click on the far left to subscribe to the channel. Click down below to see the latest episode if you missed it. And don't forget our merchandise on our website. See you in the next episode.